Welcome to Amy Learns to Cook. On the show today, we're going to make a summer vegetable saute. This is a great dish filled with nice fresh vegetables and can even be paired with some grilled chicken to make a full meal. So let's make Amy's summer vegetable saute. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our kernels off our corn. And this is some fresh corn. You can use frozen corn. Frozen corn is a really good alternative, particularly if there's not really sweet fresh corn available at the time of the year. Definitely frozen corn will work just as good. I just happen to have fresh. I wouldn't really use canned corn because it just won't give you quite the fresh taste as fresh or frozen. So what we're going to do is I've just taken the husks and the silks off of the corn, and we're going to hold the corn like this, and we're just going to cut down and cut the kernels off this corn. They're going all over the place a little bit. And we have 3 ears of corn here. And I also want to just take a little bit of this milk off the corn. So there's a little bit of juice in here that's basically corn milk. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that in here to give it a little more corn flavor. And then we're going to cut the rest of the kernels. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put some olive oil in our saute pan. And you want to cook your vegetables sort of in the order that they take to cook. So you want to put the ones that take the longest to cook in first. So we're going to put in some chopped onion. This is 1 diced onion. And we're just going to cook this until it's a little bit translucent. You don't want to cook it too much because we're going to continue to cook the rest of the vegetables. But you do want it cooked because onion, if you have a lot of vegetables in here, onion tends to be the one that doesn't cook. So you want to cook this until it is translucent. So we're cooking this over about a medium-high heat, and the onions are coming along nicely. They just have a little bit longer to go. Okay, now we're going to put in some garlic. The amount of garlic you use should just depend on your taste. If you don't like things really garlicky, just put 1 clove of garlic or 2 cloves. I like it really garlicky, right? So I put in 4. And we're just going to saute that briefly. You don't want to do it too much because the garlic will burn and then it'll taste bitter and it won't be too good. So we're just going to let that garlic give off its garlicky goodness. And then we're going to put in the zucchini. So we have 3 cups of chopped zucchini. I chopped it into moons and then chopped the moons into 4 so they look like this. We're going to go ahead and put the zucchini in. And we're just going to saute this. You need to be careful with zucchini because zucchini is great, but it can go too far too fast. And then it goes from sort of a nice, warm through, crisp zucchini to a zucchini that is basically mush, right? So we're just going to let it saute up and soften some. And then we'll continue with the recipe. Okay, so the zucchini's starting to soften up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and put in 1 chopped red bell pepper. And we're just going to cook that a little bit till that softens. Okay, now we're going to put our corn in. Wow, this is really, really colorful and delicious looking. And we're just going to cook this until the corn is cooked through, nice and warmed up. And then we're going to season it. Okay, so now that our corn is in, we're going to go ahead and give it a little bit of seasoning. The very first thing I'm going to give it is a little bit of fresh ground pepper. I like a lot of it. Then we're going to put in some herbes de Provence. And herbes de Provence is kind of like an all-purpose seasoning. It has in it rosemary, fennel, thyme, basil, tarragon, dill weed, oregano, and lavender. So we're just going to go ahead and sprinkle some of that in there. And what's great about this is you can really flavor this any way you want. These are just happen to be what I like. Now the next seasoning that I'm going to put in it is actually a specialty seasoning blend. And there's a store that I really love to go to, and I'll give them a quick little plug. They're called Penzeys. And you can actually order this on the internet if you don't have a Penzeys near you. This is their seasoning called Sunny Paris. And it is really, really good. It really wakens your vegetables up. If you don't have a Penzeys near you or you don't want to order anything, this has shallots, chives, peppercorn, basil, tarragon, chervil, bay leaf, and dill weed. It smells just unbelievably delicious with the shallots in there. So we're just going to go ahead and give this a little sprinkle. You can really use any vegetable spice blend that you like. And finally, for a little kick, we're going to put a little bit of crushed red pepper to waken these up. Give us a little heat. And of course, some salt. Vegetables really need quite a bit of salt because they're bland. They can be bland if you don't put a lot of salt in there. And you just want to let this go and let the flavors meld in there. We're going to give it a quick taste to see if we need to adjust for any of the seasoning. Probably need some more salt. Okay, so I'm going to give it a quick little squeeze. I don't want to overdo it. This is just going to brighten up the flavor a little bit and give us a little extra, right? It's time to plate it up and we will take a taste. Okay, so let's take a taste. It looks delicious. It looks fresh. The corn is still nice and crisp. The zucchini is still crisp. It tastes a little garlicky, the herbs you can taste really good. Wow. If you put this with a piece of grilled chicken, out of this world. Really, very good. If you like this recipe, please subscribe below and visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. I'm also on Twitter at twitter.com/amylearnstocook.